Yeah, it was a flyer. It was a flyer. It fell in my flyer category of my portfolio, and so encouraging you
Mhm.
to be a little bit safer than the flyers consistently, but also have some flyers in there because you just never know. I mentioned Tyrese Maxey, and I think I mentioned Jordan Poole and Desmond Bain earlier in the show, and this is a good segue into the Gauntlet because I also mentioned Cam Thomas, who I think is probably going to be a guy who could be the next. He's in the discussion for the next Jordan Poole and Tyrese Maxey for sure. He's already on a playoff team, and Kyrie's future is up in the air. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start the gauntlet with the Cam Thomas card, another one that I didn't buy. It's actually better. It's better than the one. It's better than the two that I bought. So Kendall, without any preparation, there's a
Cam
Cameron. Search
Thomas.
search Cameron, by the way, because he NBA.com lists him as Cam, but his card says Cameron. All of his cards say Cameron. So if you search Cam Thomas rookie auto, you're gonna get like two results. If you search Cameron Thomas rookie auto, you're gonna get like all the results. So here is an out of 10, and it's a Contenders rookie patch auto. And
That he
it's
signed Cam Thomas, by
buy
the
it.
way.
He signed Cam Thomas, and I like his signature. I think I'm actually glad that I'm remembering to say this because I think we all know how people are in the hobby, and they're going to find a reason to lowball you. No offense,
Yep.
everybody out there, but you are going to find a reason to lowball it, the seller. And so when you see an auto that's like the player, like a scribble, or like the first initial, last initial, I think there could be a larger discussion one day around sports card investing and autograph quality. You already have sticker versus on card. I think autograph quality is not that far away. I think every Cam Thomas auto I've seen is a quality auto. I like his signature. This one's less than $500 based on what I said earlier in the show. I think you could probably get this for maybe $275 or $300, but it kind of doesn't matter. I just want you to pick the card between
Okay.
first matchup, Cam Thomas, and a guy that I have been really high on, and I just think that maybe I'm the only one in the world that likes this guy. He's on the Sports Card Investment Report as like number 128 or 129. But Van Jefferson is a stud, and he's a second-round pick for the Rams, and he just hasn't had the opportunity yet because he plays behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, but they traded Robert Woods to the Titans. I'm interested to see what our guy Andy Kaysen has to say about a guy like Van Jefferson. I haven't had a chance to ask him about it yet, but to me, there's also, I have a fascination with Nike and the Nike swoosh patch. I think that culturally that matters, and I think obviously the NFL shield matters in a patch, and so this is a one-of-one, and you just don't get an opportunity very often to buy a one-of-one on-card auto with a Nike patch for honestly, like, I'm not trying to say $9.99 is cheap, but normally these cards, like, you're not going to get them for, at least $5,000 or 10 grand, 10x this amount. So you would have to believe that Van Jefferson can get some numbers this year with the Rams and elevate from, he's either the future of the Rams wide receiving core, or he's going to get traded and kind of not really not have that much hype around it. So it could go either way. It's 50-50 on Van Jefferson. So between Cam Thomas, they're both flyers, Cam Thomas and Van Jefferson, who do you pick and why? These cards specifically, not just the players, but the cards.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm probably going to pick Cam Thomas here. Not because I don't agree with your rationale on Van Jefferson, but I'm still coming off the realization, or maybe not realization, but I'm coming off an assumption of saying that Van Jefferson prices are still inflated because of the Super Bowl victory. So unless I could get this for like maybe around 650 or 700, if it's $9.99 versus 500 Cam Thomas, I'm going to hedge my bet a little bit and go towards this Cam Thomas one, specifically because it's a rookie ticket. It's out of 10, which is really not that far away from a 1-1. There's a lot more room for growth on Cam Thomas, I think, than Van Jefferson. Like Cam Thomas is closer to the top echelon of players in the NBA rather than if you look at Van Jefferson, I don't think he's at the he could probably be one of the top wide receivers, but even in the grand scheme of the NFL, he's probably not, top 25 in the NFL when you're looking at skill, like just all players. Like if Cam Thomas reaches his projection, he could potentially be in that top 25 in the NBA. Now, it would take a lot for him to be there, and I'm not saying he is that, but I'm saying the likelihood of Cam Thomas being that top 25 in the NBA is higher, I think, than Van Jefferson's chance of being top 5 in the NFL. And out of 10 and out of 1 of 1, I am right there with you with the Nike swoosh auto. I think it's sick. But I'm going to choose the Cam Thomas.
Yeah. All right. Love it. Now, Cam Thomas versus Gronk. And I like this Gronk card because it's a 2010 rookie auto out of 90, and it's a cool signature, I think. And he looks like a badass. I mean, I'm emotionally attached to Gronk because he's been on my dynasty team since he was a rookie. I took him, and I just haven't let him go. And
you so lucky dog.
You
didn't
Gronk,
drop him when he retired?
No, I kept him on injured reserve. We have one injured reserve slot, so I kept him on injured reserve, and then so he's still on my team right now. We don't have to make roster moves until August, but he's currently retired. But the word is that he's going to come back and play because Brady's coming back, and so now this crosses over into the retired player discussion we had. But also, I want to make 2 more points on this. But there's a marker that he could come back. There's a marker that he could win another Super Bowl. There's also a marker that he is involved with the WWE, and this card looks like he's about to kick someone's ass in the WWE. So I think the design of this card has me intrigued by the entire Gronk play. I'm not like buying any Gronk card, but I think this one in particular just caught my eye. And then, maybe I get it graded or somebody gets it graded. You out there in the audience, you buy it, get it graded, and now it's a PSA 9 and it's worth even more. I don't know. What do you think between it's cheaper to get Gronk than it is Cameron Thomas? Who wins between Gronkatron, as I call him in my fantasy football opponents hated that, versus Cameron Thomas?
Yeah, it's Gronkatron for me. This is a sick card. This is a sick card. It's out of 90. I think it's a little off center, left to right, looks like. So it's not going to gem. But like there's probably a little more space on that left side than there's on the right side in terms of centering. But this is a super cool card. I think Gronk will go down as one of the best tight ends of all time, which will help. He was kind of one of the, I wouldn't say he's the first because, that's disrespectful for greats in front of him, but I think he was one of the first that potentially took the wide receiver role or took the tight end role and made it a semi wide receiver role, and I think Gronk is a guy that's going to be tagged with Brady's legacy forever, and I think there are other guys that Gronk could have been, if another guy was in Gronk's place, he's still, there could have been other guys in Gronk's place is what I'm saying. But because he was tagged with Brady, because he has the championships, because he has all that is great. But what makes Gronk what he is his personality. Totally. He went from a great player to a guy that fans love. And that also builds into card markets a lot. And so I'm totally taking the Gronk. Totally.
Love it. I might have to pull trigger before this airs. I've got an offer for $285 for this card from the seller. Now it looks like it has some surface issues and some corners, which maybe I'll use to be like, hey, I'll give you $250 because of the surface and the corners. But I think this could be an interesting. What I like about this is that there's markers and there's a thought process behind buying this card other than I like Gronk. I think that's important to think through. So, all right. So Gronk's the winner. Now we just got 2 more cards and then we'll wrap up. So the next card, Gronk is going to go up against basically the Pedri that I bought. So this is the Pedri that I bought. It's an auto. I think he has a cool looking signature green refractor out of 99, and it's a PSA 8. So it's already slabbed. You know what you're getting. You know that he's a prospect, a top prospect, and has a lot of upside at Barca as well as the Spanish national team. So what's your take on basically $610 for this Pedri versus, say $300 for the Gronk? They're all in the same range for the sake of the discussion. You can break my heart. It's fine. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not completely sold on Pedri, to be honest. I've watched him. I like him, but I'm not sure that he's going to be. I think just because he's good and he's on Barcelona, people are like, he's going to be the next Messi. No, there might not be another Messi, and there might not be another Messi on Barcelona. Like, it might be a guy that's like on some other team that ends up being like the next huge thing, I'm not, I look at the phrase like lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. I think all those sports, that's a completely different and irrelevant and totally, my argument breaks down really fast there, but
I could break your argument down really fast.
No, I know he's potentially going to be one of the greats in soccer, but I'm not convinced. And because I'm not convinced,
no, that's cool. I'm glad.
I'm definitely not going to buy a PSA 8.
More. Yeah. I mean, again, cards are cheaper for a reason, and this could be that I got a card less expensive because it is a PSA 8. Obviously, we have different opinions on Pedri's trajectory. To me, he's not a long-term hold. Like, I plan on flipping Pedri pretty quickly. But
honestly, with this card specifically, I would crack the slab and sell it raw.
Okay. Interesting play. All right, so you're picking Gronk. Gronk still wins, and there's one more footballer that he's going to go up against. And we've hit on this topic almost every week just because I'm fascinated by the play around guys who don't have that many autos, having them signed after they're ripped from a pack. Kendall's probably getting sick of me doing this to him, but I think for the audience it's relevant because you've got a Vinicius Jr auto. There's not many Vinicius Jr autos that you can rip from that are chase cards. And so it's a Topps Crystal, which I don't know anything about. So you can tell us about that. You can tell us more about this particular card. But he's in a Madrid jersey, Real Madrid jersey, and he's a young superstar still. A lot of the hype is wore off, but he's still right in with Real Madrid and the Brazilian national team, playing with the best players in the world, and is one, performance away from a card spike. So I wonder if there's not a play with getting this slabbed by PSA with a card grade and an auto grade.
Yeah, Topps Crystal is a unique...
There's more. Sorry to cut you off. There is more than 10 available. Like that's actually something I think it's worth looking at. Like how many watchers? This is more than 10 available, 1 sold. So you can go check out the comp on that. I think it is worth like how many bids were, what the last card have, those kinds of things. But sorry, that stuff kind of doesn't matter too much. Who'd you pick between the Vinicius and the Gronk here?
Oh man, Topps Crystal, I believe was a Topps release outside of the country. If I remember correctly, I think it was a product that was released in Europe. I think. I'm not super for sure on that, but it is like a see-through card. It reminds me of like when Sprite did their Sprite remix. I don't know why, but I don't know if you remember that. But like it was like they made like the regular Sprite, but like just look cooler. And I think this is what they did
Uh-huh.
with Topps. They're like, we're going to make some soccer cards that just look cooler, and they have rounded corners. All of them do. They're see-through. So they are kind of like a glass type. They're not glass. They're made of, regular. I don't know if they're made of like plastic or something, but they are translucent. But the Holland card in that set, it actually is kind of popular. But in terms of the Beckett auto witnessed, and because there's 10 of them, you can tell this guy like went to a Vinicius signing. Like at the National, there's like there will be players there, and you can pay so much to have players sign your stuff, but it's like $100 per auto. And so I don't know how this guy got 10 of these, and now he's going to sell them for, what is it, 600? Back up a little bit so I can see the.
He wants $399. So
okay, so that's probably really close to what he has in him, I would assume. Which probably means it's kind of hard for him to move them. I'm not opposed to a Vinicius auto because of who he is and because they're hard to find. This is a tough one. Is he Spanish?
He's Brazilian.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
He plays with Neymar.
That was a dumb question. As the soccer guy, you want me to know that. Yeah, I'm probably picking this Vinicius auto over the Gronk, but just because of the position that soccer market is in right now.
Nice. Gronk is pissed at you, but Vinicius wins, so that's
okay. Gronk would probably buy the Vinicius auto too. So
yeah, Gronk. I love what you said about Gronk's personality. He's definitely someone that he's been on YouTube channels. He's been on Shark Tank. He's going to be culturally relevant.
He's freaking on the USAA commercials. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, and
I don't know if you have USAA commercials in Spain, but
no.
For some reason, the USAA was like, who should we have do our military banking? Like, what? Well, let's do Gronk. He's not even eligible.
It's amazing. That's amazing. Would love to know who you guys would pick in the gauntlet between these cards. Kendall, great job as always. And graphs and charts brought to you by marketmoversapp.com. We used a lot of their data on this episode, and they're a good partner. Really, really would love you to sign up for marketmoversapp.com and use the promo code NOOFFSEASON. You get your first month for only $1, and it really helps Kendall and I out, gives us a little bit of money in the bank to do some improvements to the website and the show and the business. So we appreciate that. We're not getting rich, but it does help us out, and it is a good product. It is worth your money. Otherwise, we wouldn't talk about it. And then, of course, the NoOffSeason.com sports card investment report, where you can save 20% on your first month by using the promo code NOOFFSEASON. We would love you to check that out, and we love your feedback on that. And then, of course, I got to throw out the Facebook group. That's where we would connect with you most often. Of course, at Lefty McKee and at NoOffSeasonCard on Twitter. But I think that where we connect with you, where you get a little bit of extra value from us, is if you join the Facebook group. So go to sportscardstrategy.com and just click the link to subscribe to the Facebook group, and I'll let you in there, and we'll have some fun talking about your sports card investment strategy. Kendall, great having you as always, my man. Great work on today's show. And anything else you want to add before we sign off?
In PTI, pardon the interruption, where or not PTI, what's the show where they vote and like what I'm talking about? On ESPN.
Is it the one that's on?
Where you vote
that's on before PTI?
Yeah, it's the one that's right before PTI.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, where the guy votes people up and down.
Yeah. Is it Tony Reali's show where he's on both of them? I don't know. I don't get those channels anymore, unfortunately. So I don't know.
Well, regardless, I think people know what I'm talking about. Anyway, at the very end, when they win, they get to talk about this random thing that they are passionate about for 5 seconds. And so that reminds every time you do that to me, it reminds me of like, Kendall, this is your random 5 seconds to just add whatever the heck you want. And I'm going to talk about all for Cincy. FC Cincinnati for the last 3 years has been the worst club ever, like ever. They've been so bad. And through the season so far, they're on a 3-game win streak. They've got more points in the league than they've ever had, and they just cracked the top 10 in terms of power rankings in the MLS. And I know there's probably a lot more MLS haters than there are MLS fans that listen to this podcast. But as a season ticket holder of FC Cincinnati, I'm super pumped, and I've loved watching them this year.
Love it. MLS is coming for you. I mean, we've got not only do we have our guy Caden Clark in there, whose dad's a friend of the show. I think it's safe to say. But also my good friend Marcus Whitney is the co-owner of the Nashville FC club in Nashville. So shout out Marcus.
Dude, seriously?
And, also,
that's cool.
Yeah. He helped bring the team to Nashville. It's an amazing story behind how Marcus, and he's a Tottenham Hotspur guy, but his obviously Nashville SC is where he has a
beautiful
minority ownership stake.
Beautiful
in the franchise. Yeah, and I don't know if you're talking about Nashville FC or if you're talking about Tottenham. They both have new stadiums, but Nashville SC just opened their new stadium.
Yeah, I was talking
also,
about Nashville.
Shout out Caitlin Mello, who she and I used to do web design and development work together back in the day, and she's now the director of marketing for the Nashville FC club. So good work out of her. MLS is coming. MLS is coming once there's more interest. Actually, let me rephrase. We should probably get those guys on the show to talk MLS. Maybe we can get them on the soccer card strategy show with you and I.
I would love that.
Just to talk about the state of the MLS. If they'd give us like 10, 15 minutes. And then that way, when MLS blows up, they'll remember, like, okay, Sports Card Strategy Show had us on first. We're going to come back to them and break some news out of Nashville, out of the league, that kind of thing. So
that'd be awesome.
Good call out of MLS. Let's not forget about our Major League
When you
Soccer
come back to
in
the
United
States, let's just go to Nashville and we'll just go record a live show.
Let's go. Let's go to a game. We'll record a live show at the game, and we'll have fun, and maybe we'll even have some live guests on, that sort of thing. We definitely should do that. So I think they play in the summer, and so there should be at least one home game when I'm in town, hopefully. So Let's try to do it, man.
Let's look at that. All right.
Oh, I love it. This is hopefully you all feel the same way that Kendall and I do about these hour and 45-minute to 2-hour sessions every week. We really appreciate you listening. Everybody, thanks, and have a great day.